Hi, this is a brief video on how to complete the Practice Concepts Assessment form. If you click on Forms and Templates on Blackboard, you will find the midterm final assessment form in one document under Winter 2018 PN Semester 2 Practice Concepts Assessment form. You will want to download and save this form. Please save this form under your own name. So I'm going to save target as. I'm going to put it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it by my first name. So that's Julian Faulkner, Semester 2 Practice Concepts Assessment Form, and I'm going to save it. When you open the form, you will see that it looks slightly different than the two documents that are in the Professional Practice Manual. This is a fillable form that you will complete on the same form both for the midterm and final. When you open it, depending on your device, you may have to click on View, Edit Document to get into an edit mode. So if you're unable to fill out the form, it may mean that you are not in edit mode. So make sure you've downloaded it, saved it under your name, and have it in edit mode. Once you've done that, you can enter your name. So as a student, you're going to enter your name in the fillable box right there. There is a drop-down menu for dates to make it nice and simple, so you can put in the appropriate date. Remember to click on to put in your student number, clinical placement staff, it might be, and your agency. Midterm hours offered and midterm hours attended will be completed by the CPS. I want to point out a few things. The directions for process for completion are here. Student initiates the midterm and final assessments. That means that you complete the document and have it ready for your CPS. You need to supply one example per indicator, and I will show you what that looks like. You need to send a completed copy to your CPS. Talk to your CPS. You may decide that you want to submit it in the online submissions area where the clinical journals will go, or in the midterm review area I have right here. And then you just click on your name and create journal entry, or your CPS might request that you email that document to them. Either is acceptable, just make sure that a copy is retained. The CPS validates the data on the document, amending and adding and clarifying as needed. CPS indicates use through use of a check mark. So in the boxes below, students do not check off whether they are in progress or not met. That is the role of the CPS, which is why the CPS needs to receive this document electronically. You will both then review the document during an in-person meeting. And it could be that the CPS asks you to print a copy of the midterm just for that final discussion, or it could be that you send it electronically to and from each other and then just have a discussion in clinical about the comments and areas for progress. Final assessment must be in hard copy, but only do the hard copy once the document has been completed in its entirety and filled out in its entirety electronically. For the final assessment, which is the end of the semester, student will print 2 copies. Suggestion: midterm assessment meeting should occur either week 7 or 8 in clinical, and final assessment will occur in week 14. So let's scroll on down through this document so you can see what you have to fill out. Students will complete the area here where they have to fill in their name and their student number. This section here at the top is in the header and footer, so in order to edit it, you will have to edit the header and footer in there. In the sections, you will see the 5 competency areas: caring and competency, caring and connectedness, caring and healing and health promotion, caring and critical thinking, and caring and professionalism. Students are expected to complete examples of how they have demonstrated this in clinical. You need to be specific. I always consider safety is not a specific example of how you've actually done it. So perform safely could be, I put up the side rails. I put up the side rails when leaving my resident in bed. It could be very specific to your resident. Students need to provide a brief but very specific example in each area. The CPS will check that this example is a semester 2, relevant to semester 2, that it is at midterm, that it is an appropriate example to the competency. Just a reminder, some things around technology. Technology could be everything from doing your point-click care to your point of care. It can also be using the mechanical lift. A mechanical lift is a piece of technology. Users resources appropriately does not just mean, say, using a mechanical lift correctly or being able to put up and down a bed or a sit-stand lift, but it is also knowing when and how to access your support system, which is your team leader, which is your CPS, which is staff on the unit. So just make sure that your examples are very specific. You need an example. Students need to put an example in each area. This continues on all the way through the document. The document is then uploaded to Blackboard, or you're emailing it to your CPS. The CPS's job is then to check off whether or not you have not met this, and then they will add to this example explaining an example of how you've not met this, or they will put in progress showing that you are currently meeting it. Because it's only midterm, you can't have met the competency yet, because there's still opportunities to show the broader demonstration of how perform safely looks in semester 2. For example, by midterm, perform safely may be that you can provide basic care, nutrition, mobility to residents. By the final, I would expect that you perform safely means that you are able to safely perform assessments on your residents, and that includes everything from respiratory, cardiac, abdominal, complete head to toe, and be able to recognize risk factors such as risks for falls based on assessments, or risk for dehydration, be able to manage oxygen therapy if it's there. So that's where perform safely at the final will have different examples. The document is completed all the way through. The CPS will enter comments here at the end of the document, suggestions for future growth and comments from the collaborative meeting. This will happen for the midterm, this will happen for the final. CPSs and students should talk about areas of strength and areas for improvement, and do a summary of each of those in there. If there has been a collaborative success plan, it needs to be documented here with the date. Midterm signature electronically, so the CPS can type the signature in, the student can type the signature in and put the date in. It does not have to be signed physically with a written signature. When you're doing the final document, and this same document will be used for the final review, except the other side of the form will be used. So this is where the final will be, week 14. Again, student put in examples, CPS fills out met or not met. And then at this point, the CPS puts in some comments, collaborative comments with the student, and then on the final document, on the final, at week 14, it'll be recommended for pass, yes or no. So this recommended for pass is not checked off in the week 7, 8 in the midterm, but it is checked off for the final. If you have any questions about this document, please contact your clinical lead faculty, Julian Faulkner. Thank you.